So this morning, my friend brought to my attention the idea of that alien war that's supposed to be happening tomorrow. Something predicted an alien war tomorrow. And I've been doing quantum healing sessions for a good decade at this point. And a lot of those sessions have to do with regressing my clients back to lifetimes often that are not human, that are pure alien. And yet, I find myself still maintaining a kind of skeptic's default mindset. And I think this is a good thing. And I wanted to talk about this because with everything going on, the ET disclosure going on, and certain experiences you might be experiencing in your own life that you can't quite explain, that you might say is spiritual or metaphysical. There's nothing wrong with being a skeptic at first. In fact, it may serve you well later on to have that skeptic kind of undertone to things so that you don't float away with some spiritual psychosis that comes up. Because spiritual psychosis, I am finding more and more that it's kind of normal for people to blip in and out of it when they're on their spiritual journey, but it's so important to stay grounded through it so that you're almost observing yourself having it in a sense where you stay anchored, knowing that something's going on and this too shall pass. And I feel like that's where a healthy skepticism can help you stay anchored. And it's not denying things are happening, it's understanding that the reality that you're perceiving will be for you and you alone. And if you can stay anchored through that and do your best not to involve others, you will likely move through it more easily. And I'm talking about this too so that you might be able to give a name to what's happening in your headspace when things get a little weird as you're moving through your spiritual journey. Having someone that you trust that will keep you safe and all of that, that's great. Community is good, but also people who are going through similar things may prolong a psychosis if they are kind of building you up or building into your psychosis. It's really good to manage this on your own. And there's a tendency for people going through their spiritual awakening, we'll say their journey, to find people online for a community just so they don't feel alone, and that's really good. But just be aware that people that you don't know really personally, very intimately, friendship or otherwise, that you feel very safe around, may not be the best people to talk to or involve in certain waves of spiritual like enlightenment or awareness or experiences going on, because they may be feeding into something that doesn't need to be prolonged longer than necessary. What I've noticed is that people will go through these spiritual psychosis waves. And I'm not a medical doctor or anything like that, though it's interesting in the medical terminology, they apply their own labels to the same kind of thing. But what's interesting is over the past 10 years, meeting so many people going through this, what I've noticed in spiritual terms is that these waves of psychosis are somewhat necessary for people's enlightenment or growth. But yet it is so important to maintain a groundedness and anchoredness to reality while you're going through it. And that's where meditation comes in, with the idea of learning the concept of observation and non-attachment, because when these things happen, you almost want to be at this place where you are so self-aware that you're aware that it is a possibility in your mind that this is happening, so that you're observing the experience and not so immersed that you lose yourself. And I'm saying this so just so you stay aware of not only yourself and your mindset and what's going on, but also who you allow into that experience. And it may behoove you to think of these psychosis experiences as, oddly enough, somewhat sacred experiences. And if you think of it like that, you wouldn't want everyone involved in that. It's kind of an intimate experience. So just be careful and choose wisely. Hopefully that's helpful in some little way. And best of luck to whoever may be going through whatever you're going through.